So, I've been away for quite a while, either on YouTube or on Twitch. You'll probably notice that I haven't uploaded. Anyways, that's because I was camping. It's much worse than it sounds. Now, to begin with the story, we must start off with where all camping stories start with. The long, arduous, tiring, I don't remember the exact word for it, editor put it up on screen over there. That word of describing of the camping trip, at least 4 hours long, and you wish you slept through it. Luckily, I was one of those lucky people who brought a blanket and pillow separate to my bag because I knew I would not want to deal with my uncle's shit during this entire thing. And I wanted to sleep as much as possible. Now, when I say long, I mean like at least 4 to 5 hours of sitting in one place and you can't move because my uncle meant to borrow a large truck to carry everything he wanted to bring, including a cooler full of eggs. We'll get to that point later. However, he bought just a regular car, so we had to stuff that thing full, meaning I was sitting over in the corner, pressed like a well, what would be a good simile to my situation? Vacuum sealed. I was basically fucking vacuum sealed along with 2 tents, 3 hammocks, a full stove. I'm not even joking on half that shit, including the stove. We brought a full functioning propane tank powered stove, a propane tank, and 50 fucking eggs. The car was basically a bomb with how packed full of everything it was. He stuffed it so full, I literally had to do this.
When's the next stop?
5 hours, Sam.
Fucking great. Can't wait for me to get diarrhea.
Trust me, we're gonna get that by the time we're done. Like, the only thing I could think that's a positive there is that we had one gas station drop 3.5 hours in. I'm not even joking about the timing. That was the first time I drank water that day. Because we woke up at like 11 in the morning. Well, that's when I usually wake up on a weekend, because why the fuck wake up any later? Or earlier, for that matter. We woke up at 11. Well, I woke up at 11. I don't know when the hell freaking uncle dude. I'm not gonna give him a name because that's a breach of privacy. And I care about my privacy. Anyways, Uncle Dude. You know what? I do need a placeholder name for him. Let's call him Uncle Tyrone. We'll go with Tyrone. Disclaimer, his name is not actually Tyrone, but we're going to refer to him as Tyrone from now on. So, Uncle Tyrone. He woke up like break of dawn, started getting everything out in front of the car. He had me, his wife, aka my aunt. We're just gonna call her Nancy. That's not her real name, but we're just gonna call her Nancy. And my cousin, who's also going on the trip, I'm just gonna call him, I need to refer to him as he's on the trip. I'm gonna call him Cousin B. Well, I guess, yeah. So Uncle Tyrone left Auntie Nancy, Cousin B, and myself to pack in the, like, 2 truckloads of shit that he wanted to bring in a normal fucking car. And he had us load it, and we left about 3 after getting it packed. No food for me. I ate literally the next day, and just because I was so tired for the time that we got there, I'm not joking when I say, we drove, left at 3 p.m. Got there at about, like, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Man, the time we arrived, it was like 10, 11. No camp is already set up. We have to unpack. Well, unpack. It's more like opening the back seat. It's not like unpacking. It's more like opening the trunk and seeing what falls out first so that way we can clean up. Which, thankfully, at the very back was the tent, which we got set up. Picture here. I took it in the wrong viewport. And for that, I am sorry. But, yeah, look at that dark void. Now imagine sleeping in that tent. That's not what I did. I had a hammock. You might be thinking, why the fuck were you sleeping in a hammock, Sam? Well, I got one thing for you. I liked hammocks, and it wasn't supposed to be cold. It was supposed to be warm nights, warm days, and even hotter middays. Honestly, it's surprising that it was as cold as it was. We'll get to that later. But for the first night, after having relatively packed in and feeling like you're literally being baked in the sun for 8 hours, which we practically were. Anyways, I was tired. We got the hammock set up. I was like, alright, bye. Went to sleep. Realized I couldn't sleep because I slept for about, like, 4 hours during the car ride there. And also, it's freezing. I had a sleeping bag and 2 blankets. I could not feel any part of my body for that first night. It was 40 degrees, and you might be thinking, wow, that's almost freezing. It gets worse. It's windier than a tornado. What I mean by that is, we're on, like, the best way I can describe it is, I might as well use this blank passport I have. This is the mountain. We're up here. Wind is coming from here. So all that wind is going up here. Now here's a bit of a outlay of the campsite for you. This is the campground. And I'll just say this is my hammock. Guess where the wind was? Here. I'm not joking when I say I was terrified for a solid until 3 o'clock in the morning when I finally fell asleep for 2 hours. Because the wind would blow and my hammock would go sideways. Alright? You don't get more terrified than that shit. Alright? High octane, no thank you. Alright? And that's not even the worst part, because when I woke up, it was 32 degrees outside. I'm not joking. I have a photo of it. I'm pretty sure I sent it to my editor. Did I send it to you already? The photo from the car? Here is a video of when I first woke up. So it is currently day 2. I'm inside the car because it started to rain a bit, like sprinkling, and I slept in a hammock. So I'm in the car warming up. I don't have the key, so I can't turn on the engine, which sucks. So, yeah. I'm just here with my blanket, warming up. Hopefully it gets better. Now that that's done with, immediately after that, the freezing temperatures. The only thing I could handle right now was a car with a heater. And I didn't have the keys. And it was 5 a.m. So 2 hours I sat in an unturned on car with my blanket shivering to keep any semblance of warmth I still had. You might be thinking, oh, well, at least you kept some warmth. Nope, the windows were open because someone wanted to air it out overnight. Thanks, Tyrone. Totally not pissed about that. Anyways, 2 hours later, my uncle finally came out of the tent. He realized I was there and not in the hammock, asked what was wrong. I told him I was cold and if he could turn on the car, please, so that way I could turn on the heater. And he finally obliged. So I sat there for another 2 hours, unable to sleep, in the car, heating up and absorbing all the warmth I could. I might be thinking, oh, at least you got fire going, right? Nope, not until noon because my Uncle Tyrone lost the fire starter. How the fuck does that happen? That is your one job. That is the only thing we had to cook, except for the stove. That's the one thing you bring on a camping trip. A fire starter, something to start fires with. A lighter, maybe. Sometimes matches. Sometimes flint and steel. Anyways, going back to me ranting about fucking the most horrible things. It took us until noon to find it, and after that, we were able to get fire. I actually have a video of it.
Now we have fire.
On to the first meal of the day at 11, since I last ate at 2 days ago, 5 p.m. Eggs.
Eggs, 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 fucking eggs.
So my uncle brought 2 things. Eggs and raw hamburgers, enough for one meal. But eggs he brought in droves, and in swarms he did bring. You must have thought he had his own chicken coop filled to the brim with eggs that he's been saving all year for this trip. I'm not joking when I said he brought 3 or 4 large cartons of eggs. I'm not talking like the ones with only like 12 things. I'm talking with the 24. So there's like 3-4 cartons of 24 eggs each. That's a lot of math. I don't want to do that right now. This is my break. I don't want to do math. Editor, how much is that? Put the number up here. I'm making you do the work because I don't want to. I apologize. We ate it for every meal except for 2. One coming up at the end of the first stay we actually spent there, and the last day where we had bad pizza. That's going to be the final bit of this, except for the drive home and the only good meal I had after that. But oh my god. With all the eggs we had there, you'd think he's the fucking Easter bunny. No, I actually went to bed early because the obvious reasons. I slept for a full 2 hours. So I think that's pretty obvious why I went to bed early. I woke up. I realized I had solid sleep. I felt fully rested. But when I woke up, there was also another problem. The temperature again. It was 32 degrees outside. Literal 0 Celsius, meaning literal freezing temperatures. And looking at the weather app at the time, it would not get better until 4 in the afternoon. Cousin B and I were all in the car with the heater on max. Now, Uncle Tyrone and Solid Snake didn't believe it was actually freezing. They came in, looked at the car, and said, they're never accurate. But thankfully, after I texted my editor, my wonderful editor, Bofa, the picture of the temperature reading, he said, holy shit, it's that cold? Cars usually read hotter than it actually is. And I asked them about it, and they also said that it usually states it as hotter than it actually is outside of the car. And they realized, and that meant it was colder than 0 Celsius, and that the water should have been frozen. For the last activity of the day worth mentioning, we played cards, and my uncle decided to be a dick. But what does that mean? It means he took out the wine and started chugging. I'm not joking when I say he is a weird drunk. What I'm about to say is something that he said during a card game. Pretend this is like a glass full of wine. So Sam, when is your birthday? It's January 1st. Okay, so January 1st. That's the 4th month. 4 months after the 4th month is October. So October 1st, I'm gonna give you keys to a car. Excuse me, could you repeat the decision making you just told me? Fine. January's, you need a car 4 months after you're 18, or else you're not really a man. And 4 months after January is October, because January is the 4th month. You know Solid Snake was about to go, actually, Tyrone. I was like, nope, let him figure it out in the morning. It'll be all the more funny when he figures it out. Another thing that he said, this is Uncle Tyrone when he's drunk. Listen, Sam. Listen. Look at me. Listen. By the time you're 50, they ain't gonna be presidents no more. The robot's gonna take over. You know, when we were young, we used to have rock fights. And no one complained about it. The fuck's a rock fight? We take rocks and we throw them at each other. And Solid Snake's just in the background like, ah, yeah, rock fight. I wish we could do that nowadays, but now it's considered child abuse. By the way, Solid Snake, equally as crazy as my uncle. He's more dialed back, but he's equally as crazy. They're both like, I saw you shit in the trenches, there's no barriers between us kinds of guys.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick. And the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
You know what, actually, I also have to share this through the prospects of drunk Tyrone. You know, there's 2 ways of making money back in my time. You're like 40. In my time, you had to smuggle drugs to make money. I feel like I should have a wire on me. What the fuck did I just walk into? I was sitting here. You came up to me and told me that shit. What the fuck? What brought this on? Are you not Solid Snake? You're drunk. I am fucking drunk. Another thing that he told me during the whole thing, this whole ordeal with being drunk. This isn't me in character. Another thing during his whole thing being drunk was, this is to tell you that when you're 18, we're going to Vegas, baby, where prostitution is legal. What the fuck? All of these are true things that he said. Exaggerated a little bit, just like, not even that much. Like, if it's like, here, how I'm saying it, it was like, here, in real life. I'm adding like a bit of slur to his words, and a bit of show that he's actually drunk. You can't tell when he's drunk, and that's scary. So I'm in the car at day 3. It's 32 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, I think. Because why would Rick have it in Celsius? Yeah, it's probably Fahrenheit. So, it's less than 2 degrees above freezing, I think. Yeah, I think we should go home. Like, legit, it's cold. Like, see the temperature up there. It's insane. He wants us to go swimming. If we go to the lake, I'll make a video, but otherwise, I'm not going. We finally got back to Aunt Nancy. And she made me a sandwich. A nice, simple turkey and cheese sandwich. Cheddar cheese. And deli turkey. best goddamn sandwich I've ever had in my life. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Now, you'll also find down below links to 3 other things: our Twitch, our Discord, and our VOD channel for our Twitch. I recommend you go ahead, follow our Twitch, join our Discord, and subscribe to that second channel to watch VODs whenever they're out, or if you want to watch streams live. So, hopefully I'll be able to see you next time for another upload of a game that is yet to be determined at the moment. And I hope you all have a better day than I had those past 3 days of eating nothing but burnt charcoal, eggs, and very, very slightly warm pizza. Uncle Tyrone blasted pink meat down my throat. This is the peak of despair.